Have you ever knit a shawl with I-cord edges and that wingspan edge is just too tight? Well, I found a way to make that I-cord stretchier. It's really easy, so let's get to it. You're going to find a lot of I-cord edges on my West Knit shawls. I achieve this technique by slipping the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. And then you turn around to knit on the other side. As you work that I-cord, if you think your edge is a little bit tight, you can do an I-cord boost, a stretchier I-cord. After you knit the first 3 stitches, slip them onto your left needle and knit them again. And then continue to follow the row as written. Knitting or purling, maybe you have an increase to do in your pattern, but knit 3, slip, knit them again. Let's do that stretchy I-cord again for you right-handed English style knitters. Slip the last 3 stitches with yarn in front. Knit the first 3 stitches. And if you think your edge is a little bit tight and it could be a little more flexible, slip the first 3 stitches onto the left needle and knit them again. 1, 2, 3. So what you just did, that knit 3, slip, knit 3 again, that counts as your first knit 3 in the instructions of your pattern. And then continue to follow the row as written. Knit front back, knit purl, or it might say purl to the last 3 stitches. It depends on the pattern. But that stretchy I-cord technique is all there is to it. You can do that as many times as you want. I usually don't do it every right side row. I might try it every other right side row, or maybe even just 2 or 3 times in a section. So try that little I-cord boost just a few random times, and that will help you gain a stretchier edge. This is the Exploration Station shawl. And the dotted rays is one of my favorite West Knits patterns because you can knit this shawl with any yarn weight and you can make it as small as you want by binding off early, or you can make it really large in the pattern. This has I-cord edges at the beginning and end of each row. That's quite stretchy. I'm really pleased with my I-cord there. And here, I think it's also quite stretchy. You'll notice that when you have an increase or a decrease right after your I-cord edge, it becomes a little bit more tight. So if you feel like this is a little too tight, throw in that I-cord boost, just in a few random places throughout the edge, and see how that stretch feels. This stretchy I-cord technique occasionally might look like you have a little bit longer stitch every now and then, but when you block your shawl, it's going to give you that stretch and even out the stitches nicely. So don't worry if it looks a little bit uneven at the edge. It's all about the practicality of that I-cord boost stretch. This I-cord boost is going to become extra handy if you are a tight knitter. So if you knit your stitches and you pull on the yarn quite tightly, like I'm doing right now, and there's not much space between the stitches, that can get really tight when you do that every row. So you want to do that I-cord boost. Slip them onto the left needle and knit them again. I'm not that tight of a knitter, so I don't do the I-cord boost too much. So whenever I knit my first 3 I-cord stitches, whenever I pull the yarn through that first stitch and take it off, I don't pull the yarn tight. I actually pull my right needle to give me a little bit bigger of a stitch. And I do this for all of my I-cord stitches. I just am a little bit generous with the amount of yarn that I use for those 3 stitches. So I'm not knitting super tight along the edge. So I find that when I do that, that helps ease the edge and give me a little bit more stretch. So that's one method to try, and the I-cord boost is definitely a really good way to give you that stretchier edge. I just love little techniques like that that are so easy and really effective because you can customize that stretchy tension of your I-cord edges. It's basically the spandex of knitting techniques, so there's nothing better than that. Try that boost on the C-swell shawl, or you could do a dotted raise and add that boost if you're feeling that edge is a little too tight. So give it a try and share your progress on Instagram with #WesKnits, and I'll catch you in the next video.